You can't fight someone who walks around at 12-3, boiling him down to 160. Before, you would have fought him at 157.
Did you invite him when you spoke to him?
Yeah.
And what did he say?
He said the fight isn't going to happen.
Would the public be interested in such a fight? Unfortunately, because promoters have been constantly rinsing the public with these fights, which actually are about names, not about abilities. So, they would take an interest in this fight.
Chris Eubank Sr. didn't hold back as he slammed Conor Benn for stepping into the ring with Chris Eubank Jr. You shouldn't fight him. Chris Eubank Sr. has voiced strong opposition to the scheduled bout between his son, Chris Eubank Jr., and Conor Benn, citing serious safety concerns. He fears that the weight-cutting demands on Eubank Jr. could be life-threatening. Eubank Sr. stated, "He is coming down 1 ounce below 160 pounds, which cannot happen on my watch." He emphasized the dangers of extreme weight loss in boxing, recalling past fatalities and expressing his unwillingness to risk his son's life. Eubank Sr. also questioned the motivations behind the fight, suggesting that Conor Benn's decision might be influenced by a desire to avenge his father's losses. He advised Benn to focus on his own career path, stating, "His career is not about Chris Eubank Jr. His career is about the champions at 147. Eubank Sr. further criticized the promoters and management teams involved, accusing them of prioritizing financial gain over fighter safety. He expressed his determination to protect his son, even if it meant opposing the fight publicly.
You can't fight someone who walks around at 12-3, boiling him down to 160. Before, you would have fought him at 157. He would have lost his life that night, which is why that fight didn't happen. And why it's being boycotted. Whoever's giving you this view that you have, you've discarded your entire career for Chris Eubank Jr. Who is that? Is it just your dad who wants to win over me, or is it someone else in your team? Who juiced you up if you were juiced up? What happened, Conor?
Despite the back and forth in the media, Eubank Sr. recognizes the immense danger Conor poses to anyone in the ring, particularly to his own son. He's not taking Conor lightly. He understands how dangerous the fighter is, even though his opponent may have lost some of his previous power. Eubank Sr. wishes to make it clear that his criticism is not aimed at his son, but at the situation itself. His priority is ensuring that his son is not forced into a confrontation that could result in more harm than good. It's a father's instinct to protect his child, and Eubank Sr. knows the brutal nature of the sport all too well. The fight is something he hopes doesn't come to fruition, not because he doesn't trust his son's abilities, but because he knows firsthand how brutal the consequences can be. Eubank Sr. doesn't want this fight to happen, as much as he respects the sport and his son's career. He wants to see his son thrive, without risking everything in a fight that could turn out to be far too dangerous.
Chris Eubank Jr. Was a fantastic fighter, is a fantastic fighter, but he's too heavy. Okay, he is a 168-pound fighter. For him to get down to 160 now is too much for him. So Conor would be fighting someone who has lost his punch resistance, which was proven with this Mr. Smith. Again, I don't talk against my son. I'm there to protect him because I know how dangerous this young man is in Conor Benn. I know how dangerous he is. 147 fights 147. Leave Junior alone.
Chris Eubank Sr. has expressed unwavering support for Conor Benn, making it clear that he believes in Conor's incredible potential as a fighter. According to Eubank Sr., Conor is a tremendous talent with the ability to defeat any fighter in the ring. His faith in Conor's abilities is evident, as he stands behind him not just as a supporter, but as someone who knows the sport inside out. Eubank Sr. pointed out that he has been around fighters for years and understands what it takes to succeed at the highest level, which is why he can confidently say that Conor has what it takes to go all the way. Eubank Sr. emphasized the importance of trust, both in the sport and in relationships. He told Conor that he knows the people who have been around him and understands the dynamics at play, but he wants Conor to trust him, as he has only his best interest at heart. Even though Eubank Sr. is aware that there may have been negative things said about him, he assured Conor that he doesn't hold any ill will. He expressed that despite any past misunderstandings or harsh words, he will still support Conor to the fullest. He made it clear that his guidance would never mislead Conor. Eubank Sr. knows Conor's father and has seen Conor's journey, which is why he is confident in his advice. He isn't interested in causing harm or leading anyone astray. What matters most to Eubank Sr. is ensuring that Conor's path is a successful one, and he will always be there to support him no matter what.
Let Conor go and have his illustrious career here in the United Kingdom and then in the United States, because he beats them all. That's how fantastic I think he is. I've always backed you, Conor. I've always backed you. Okay? You're sensible. If it's true that you've said things about me which are not complimentary, I don't mind that. I'm looking at the people that you're around. Here it is. You know the spirit world. That's how I know you're an honest man. The people around you are part of a gang. It's a team thing. You're the mark. Okay? The only person who's going to look out for you is you, supposed to be your dad, and people like me. You can trust me. Yeah, you've seen me get up in a fight I can't win and walk back into the fire. You can trust me. I'm not going to give you any, I'm not going to mislead you. You know, I'm a lawman.
The ongoing tension between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn is not just a rivalry between the two fighters. It goes much deeper, involving their fathers as well. The animosity between the two families traces back to a series of incidents that have only fueled the fire. One of the most significant moments occurred during a press conference where Conor Benn's father, Nigel Benn, famously put his arm around Eubank Jr. his throat. This physical confrontation stirred up strong feelings and was seen as a symbol of the tension that had been building for years. On the other hand, Chris Eubank Sr. has always stood by Conor Benn, supporting him throughout his career, even when things between the two fathers didn't go well, while Eubank Sr. has never made any public statements directly confronting or criticizing Conor Benn. His alignment with Benn, rather than with his own son in some cases, has been a point of friction. The differences between Eubank Sr. and Eubank Jr. only added to the drama, as Eubank Jr. has expressed his desire to reunite with his father, even though the rift between them has remained a painful reality. The strained relationship between the two fathers, combined with the physical altercation between Nigel Benn and Eubank Jr., escalated the rivalry. Eubank Jr. was pushed to the point where he threatened Conor Benn's father, warning him that if he touched him again, there would be serious consequences. This threat only intensified the situation, with Conor Benn growing more frustrated by the public spectacle. In an interview on Piers Morgan's show, Benn's frustration was evident as he addressed the ongoing tension and the complex dynamics between the two families. The feud between Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn is no longer just about the two fighters. It has become a war of words and actions between their fathers, each taking sides and contributing to the rivalry in different ways. Eubank Jr. loves and respects his father, but the complex relationship between them continues to affect the personal and professional lives of both men. Despite the anger and frustration, there's a desire for reconciliation and healing, though the road to that will likely remain long and difficult.
Your dad intervened with the egg throwing and put his arm, I think, on your throat. And at the second press conference, you basically threatened Nigel Benn, said if he did that again, you'd deal with him. And
it wasn't a threat, it was a promise.
Oh, it's not a promise, is it?
You can't touch
scumbag.
You can't
Well, we
touch
did.
so you can throw an egg in his face and his father can't.
No,
me and him are fighting.
You're just upset.
Me and you are
dad
fighting.
Can't stand you. And
I'm
my
not
dad
upset.
has my back. You are. That's all that
I'm not
was.
upset.
My dad put.
Me
his
and you
hands
are fighting.
around you
Whatever
again.
happens between us
My dad would put his arms around you again. What are you going to do about it?
No one
What are you
else.
going to do about it? Tell me.
No one else can touch me.
Tell
And
me.
if they do, there'll be
Tell me.
consequences.
Consequences to what?
If
What,
anyone
I was to
else,
slap you right now?
if anyone else touches me,
what if I was to slap you right now? What are you going to do about it?
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, talk about my dad.
I'm not talking about your
my
dad.
No.
But I
you
told
talk-
him.
Yeah, but
I
you should-
told
you should
him.
Get off me, please.
My old man would never touch you, so your old man's never going to touch
I'll
me.
never slap you.
You
I
would
would
never slap me.
Yeah, no, I won't
You
slap
put your
you.
hands on me twice since my last fight.
When?
You pushed me.
Push, a little push.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You put your hands on me.
Little push and stuff.
You
Stop moaning
put your
about
hands
it.
on me.
Stop moaning about it. A little push and shove. Stop moaning about it. Talk about my dad.
You put your hands on me, I put my hands on you.
I'll
Now
never
we're even.
disrespect your dad.
Yes, you
understand?
would. You disrespected him before.
What? The fact that he don't like you? It's a matter of fact.
Okay, well,
That's
it's
a matter
disrespect.
of fact. How's that
You
disrespect?
can't give it and not take it.
You fucked up by talking about my dad. You done fucked up
You
talking
fucked up
about my
touching
dad.
me, and you fucked up by taking this fight.
Yeah.
That's right.
In a recent interview, Chris Eubank Jr. was asked about the possibility of his father, Chris Eubank Sr., attending his upcoming fight on the 26th of April. Eubank Jr. expressed a lack of confidence, stating, "No, like I said, I haven't heard from him since that day, so I'm not confident of anything, but I will try my best to facilitate him being there." When asked if he had invited his father to the fight, Eubank Jr. confirmed that he did, but his father's response was far from supportive. Eubank Jr. explained that his father's stance on the fight was clear. He said the fight isn't going to happen. This statement reveals the disconnect between father and son, as Eubank Jr. seems uncertain about the reasoning behind his father's belief. Eubank Jr. went on to add, highlighting his confusion and frustration about his father's refusal to acknowledge the fight. What Eubank Jr. was implying here is that despite his efforts to involve his father in his professional journey, Eubank Sr. remains adamantly opposed to the fight. His father's comment about the fight not happening shows a deeper reluctance, one that is rooted in concerns over the potential dangers or complications surrounding the bout. Eubank Jr.'s uncertainty reflects the emotional strain that has come with their complex relationship and his desire for his father's support, both personally and professionally. In essence, this exchange speaks to the underlying tensions between the two. Eubank's "seen on your S" words suggest that he doesn't believe the fight should take place, a sentiment that clearly frustrates his son, who is left struggling to understand why his father would actively try to prevent such an important event in his career.
Yeah.
Did you invite him when you spoke to him?
Yeah.
And what did he say?
He said the fight isn't going to happen.
Why not? Why does he feel that way?
You know, your guess is as good as mine, buddy. It's it sounds crazy, but at the same time, he said the same thing before the last fight. So it's like I can't even call it crazy now because it did happen the first time.
Chris Eubank Jr. shared his thoughts on his father's stance regarding his upcoming fight, expressing a sense of confusion and frustration. He acknowledged that, while it may seem crazy, his father had previously stated the same thing before his last fight. And despite the doubts, the fight did happen. However, this time, Eubank Jr. believes it's virtually impossible for the fight to happen. Although he also admitted that nothing is truly impossible, despite his father's refusal to support the fight, Eubank Jr. expressed that even if his father's mindset remained unchanged, he still feels his father should be offering his support. Eubank Jr. recognized that his father is dealing with personal struggles and mental blocks that prevent him from fully embracing the situation. Eubank Jr. seems to be taking a compassionate approach, suggesting that the way forward is not to force his father's support, but to try to help him through whatever emotional or mental barriers are holding him back. Despite the tension, it's clear that Eubank Jr. still holds a desire for reconciliation and hopes to assist his father in overcoming his internal struggles.
The first time, but it's just not going to happen this time. It's impossible, virtually impossible. Nothing's impossible, but it's virtually impossible. And, you know, even if that was his mindset, I feel like he should still be, you know, supporting. But he has this mental block about this whole thing. I don't know why. It's you know, it's obviously just something. He's got his demons. He's fighting, and he's got something in his mind that he can't get over. And you know, I don't know. I got to just try and help him through it, I guess.
Chris Eubank Sr. expressed his confusion and disappointment over his son's behavior, particularly the incident involving smashing an egg around Conor Benn's face. He stated that this was not the type of conduct he understood or condoned, especially considering he was supposed to be an example for his son. Eubank Sr. later spoke with his son, who explained that the action stemmed from the intense pressure surrounding the fight promotion. Eubank Jr. told his father that he felt cornered by the external pressures, including the belief that Benn was a cheat. He acknowledged that the egg incident was premeditated, driven by the feeling that he was being pushed into a corner by the people around him. Eubank Jr. justified his actions by citing the environment he was in, where he was led to believe his father didn't support him. He felt isolated and, in his mind, the egg incident was a way to assert himself. Eubank Sr. seemed to understand the emotional turmoil his son was experiencing, but still struggled to comprehend the rationale behind such an action. Eubank Jr. also mentioned that Benn allegedly had some form of chemical related to eggs, which further fueled his decision to take such drastic action. Despite the justification, Eubank Sr. remained concerned about the incident and his son's behavior.
This is not the behavior I understand. Where did that come from? You know, I'm supposed to be his example. But I spoke with him a few days ago, and he said to me about this egg thing. He said, Dad, he's a cheat. Okay, and, you know, we're promoting the fight. And these people have me under a great deal of pressure, and the environment is very messy. And I got pulled in. In doing that, you know, yes, I premeditated it because these people are all over me, telling me that my dad doesn't like me. It's me alone, Dad. So, you know, that's what I thought I'd do, and, you know, and I've justified it. You know, he supposedly had some type of chemical which is born of eggs, and
Chris Eubank Sr. has made it clear that his son, Chris Eubank Jr., will never truly become a champion if he only focuses on the belts around his waist. According to Eubank Sr., a true champion is not defined by the trophies or titles they hold, but by the love and respect they receive from the people. He believes that being a champion is about more than just personal achievement. It's about how others perceive you, how they connect with you, and how you impact the world around you. A real champion makes people feel something beyond just victories in the ring. This sentiment comes across as a critique of his son's current mindset. Eubank Sr. seems to suggest that his son is too focused on the material aspects of being a fighter, the accolades and the recognition, rather than the deeper, more meaningful qualities that define greatness. In a way, Eubank Sr.'s words reflect a belief that his son hasn't fully grasped what it means to be a true champion, something that goes beyond winning titles. Eubank Sr.'s actions in attempting to block the fight between his son and Conor Benn also reveal his thoughts about his son's potential. It's clear that Eubank Sr. does not believe his son is capable of achieving greatness on his own terms. This is why he is working so hard to prevent the fight from happening, pushing against the idea of his son facing Benn. His insistence on keeping Eubank Jr. away from Benn suggests that he doesn't think his son is ready or deserving of the challenge, and this can be interpreted as a reflection of his doubts about his son's abilities to succeed at the highest level. In a sense, Eubank Sr.'s actions and words reveal his lack of faith in his son's potential to reach the level of greatness that he, as the last of the greatest of all time, once achieved. This complicated father-son dynamic adds another layer to their strained relationship, with Eubank Sr. seemingly trying to protect his son from what he perceives as a fight that could ruin his chances of becoming a true champion.
Will your son ever be champion?
As long as he thinks it's about the belts he has around his waist, no, he'll never be a champion. It's only about how people feel about you. Are you loved? Muhammad Ali loved. Jack Johnson loved. Joe Louis loved. Standard bearers. That's who I am. I'm the last in the line of the greats. I am GOAT. Oh, just in case you don't know the acronym, greatest of all time. Period. I cannot be challenged. No one would have the gall, the brazenness to sit in a room with me and speak to me about boxing. I'm the king.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.